And now we are here, finally, over with Grand Theft Auto, the definitive edition. All games dominated. All games completed to 100% completion with all the achievements. And now, the big question, the big thing. Is it worth playing today? Is it even worth buying the definitive edition for Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy? There is a big ask for the fans of Grand Theft Auto to actually overlook the release. But it's been 3 years. We are now in the year of 2025. The most recent update was in November of 2024. And now it's functional. It's quite functional. I'm very happy that the fact that this got fixed, even though 3 years later, this took so long to get fixed. I'm glad a competent company like Video Games Deluxe took the reins from this project and really pick up the pace on it. It's really nice that Switch version, it's actually functional now. I'm not gonna say the PS4 is the best version, but I will say that the Steam version running at all frames, ultra, and it's functioning. It's doing its thing, and it's awesome. The new graphics, the lighting, classic lighting, fixing the imperfections within the definitive edition when it relaunched. It was very unfortunate how that happened. It's very unfortunate. Rockstar gave it to a mobile company, gave it to incompetent developers, gave it to a company that will literally tarnish the legacy of these 3 games. That is all past now. We are here today, and I will give you some points of reference in making that decision to buying or even bother playing with this definitive edition. One, I'm gonna tell you right now, they're great, they're fun. They're missing tracks from each one because of the copyrighted music and all that. Not renewing said licensed music. The worst offender is San Andreas, but it still has a lot of tracks within the game. It still has everything. I would say that's not much of an issue. Big name tracks are missing from San Andreas, but I still think what it has currently, it's still worth playing. A lot of driving, a lot of flying, a lot of traversing in that game. Vice City literally just lost 9. There was 3 major tracks that I cared about. The 2 from MJ, that is Michael Jackson, and the beat. Trying to figure the beat. Lord, I cannot even. Looking for the perfect beat. That was those are the 3 tracks that matter to me, at least in Vice City. Everything else is still there. There's like additional little side missions. It feels great. The atmosphere of the game feels great. The controls feel worth playing. I used the PS5 controller through my playthroughs for these games with this definitive edition. It's a trip back to nostalgia, back in time of playing this, but in a better sense, because on the PS2 configuration with those controls, it played a lot different. Now you got run and gun controls for the aiming. For Grand Theft Auto 3 and Vice City, this is awesome. San Andreas had some similar controls to this, but it's more streamlined. It's a cleaned up version of it, and it's awesome. The only fault that I'm gonna say personally is the lock-on icon has changed from 3 triangles into a crosshair with 4 points of color that changes with the health on said enemy. You can remove the outlines if you wish for the targeting for all 3 games, which is nice. You have options. The classic lighting can be turned off if you wish. You want to go back to that more realistic lighting of today compared to the classic lighting of these games from the past. You know, design choices and regards of Grand Theft Auto, it was a totally different engine from the RenderWare engine down to Unreal Engine 4. So, that being said, the functionality it's nice, but there is obviously still bugs, a few glitches here and there. The worst one recorded to date for me, and I think for most people, is San Andreas. More or less, it's just textures, floating grass, floating rocks, floating leaves. There's some textures that are kind of off in some areas of the game. It's a big world, but it's just a few areas, not too many. Other than that, maybe the flying it's a little sensitive. It's functional. You get the job done. Once you can tune the sensitivity in on the flying portion of the game, with the jets and planes and helicopters and attack helicopters and all that, it's still an enjoyable experience. Grand Theft Auto 3, it just feels a lot better with that running gun. That new addition of a feature that they added in that recent patch. And it feels good. It feels good because that game is more... They're all arcade games, like, in a sense, because you have, the bribe badges, health pickups, armor pickups. The weapon pickups are kind of, like an arcade game, right? From the, pretty much an homage to the original 1 and 2 and London release of Grand Theft Auto. But 3 is the most archaic one. And you know what? It's still fun. It's still quite fun. It's a lot easier to play now compared to the original PS2 version. People are going to have their thoughts about the models and the characters. As of right now, besides the clothing within San Andreas, that's my takeaway. That I kind of a slight complaint for me, because not all the clothing is upscaled. It's not giving that nice definitive touch. But in Vice City, Grand Theft Auto 3, it's still a good time. Now I'm gonna say this. It's 3 games. Vice City, Grand Theft Auto 3, they're not that big, but it gets longer as you go on. 3, Vice City, San Andreas. In total, looking into my records here, Grand Theft Auto 3 was 48 hours on that playthrough. Vice City was 82 hours. And with San Andreas, it was 165 hours, 0.5. So in all together, rough math, I'm looking at around close to 300 hours. Close. So 48, 82. Yeah, just about close. If not, it's about 300, almost close to 320 hours. A rough estimate on it's just doing it on the fly. It's it's a fun thing. It functions, it works. I 100%ed them fully, and it feels good that I can get through that in the current state it is. I know there's a lot of videos that just attack and attack and attack, but the recent developers that they're working on this right now, or maybe they stopped, whatever the case may be. But from that final patch back in November, the 12th, I think. 1 second. It was. Let's look at this at the fly. 1 second here, and I'm gonna post this here on the. One moment here. I'll post this in the video. Oh, 1 day off. November the 13th. That's when it was released. Small update. Not too many notes, but you know what? We uncovered all of it, and we found it all. And it was a wonderful time for myself. I have a bit of nostalgia only for 3 and Vice City, and I have gained a love for San Andreas for what it is. I understand now a deeper meaning of why this game is beloved by many. I did not have the same thought going into this, playing San Andreas from the beginning to now. And I appreciate it a lot more. And for what this definitive edition does now, it's playable for everybody to play. You make your own decisions on that. If you want to continue to bash the game, you want to talk shit about Rockstar, so be it. But people did put time to fix it. And besides nostalgia for older players that played this on release or later in life, I would say it is worth the time to play these versions. It's still a fun time to play. It's a complete package for the deal. If you could find a real good deal on this, it's really worth the time. And I recommend on my end to get it on a discount. $59.99. It's a hard sell on this edition. Now, if you had the original PS2 versions, yeah, that's a steal. You can get that. But get this in a discount if you can. If you want to play it on the Switch on the go, or if you're very familiar with the Steam Deck and you know how to get this functional, because all of them are playable on all Steam and on the Steam Deck. It says on the store. So those are the options. There is the PS4 version and the Xbox version. I only tested them very limitedly, and mainly it was just the PS4 version. I do not have an Xbox. So I would say look up more videos, maybe be cautious about it. But for the most part, it's still worth your time. These games they have their own legacy within video game history. And I would implore you, if you're willing to give the time a day, to give these versions a try. Steam has a 2-hour, refund. And, if you don't like them, you always can do that. But, that's pretty much all I got. I appreciate this time of playing these games, looking back and to now, and the new controls, and just going back to these missions, man. These missions were kind of tough back in the day. You do have cheats still. There are some are disabled, but that supposedly it affects the gameplay, and it's and that's a whole little rant on my own. But I love cheats, and it made it San Andreas a lot more enjoyable for myself, because you can still do the 100% doing the cheats, and it's an old school game. Back when it really wasn't taking itself seriously. It was more about you just having fun and being cop and robbers and all that stuff. So that's something to look into or think about, you know, as you debate to play this again or whatever. So, other than that, that's really all I got. I'm done with this project. This was fun playing these three. Man, San Andreas tested my patience though and it was just it was mainly just the gang territory, just kept picking that up, but it's because you had to fight onslaughts and onslaughts, and sometimes, man, these games can be really brutal. Depending on the weapons they have, like when you're doing the gang to territories or just missions, you know, they really can mow you down depending on what weapons the enemies are using. And it's still a fun time though. I enjoyed every minute of this. But like, subscribe. Let's see what's the next project for me and what we gotta talk about on some of these older games. Maybe newer games. We'll see. But until next time, peace.